11 biggest archaeological hoaxes. Number 11. Uluru Lost City. If we believed everything we heard about archaeology, we'd be flooded with misinformation, and our ideas of history would be distorted. Sometimes fabricated stories like this one about the lost city near the sacred Uluru Mountain tourist attraction in Australia are fabricated just to see who will believe it and if they can make money off it somehow. Although Aborigines are known for living in this area, the claim that a 1,500-year-old necropolis was situated nearby turned out to be a complete hoax. Experts, of course, knew the claims were entirely false right away, but other Australians who live in the outback believed it was a legitimate discovery. Number 10. The Calavera Skull. In July 1866, Josiah Whitney wrote a paper on what he believed was the oldest known human due to the positioning in the mine shaft. It was found 130 feet deep in Calaveras County, California. The skull appeared to look very similar to someone of Native American origin, and it seemed to be quite believable at this time that it was possibly the oldest person ever. Archaeologists were ecstatic with this finding and couldn't believe what they were seeing. After examination by historians and Smithsonian archaeologists, they claimed that it was real, and this would have disproved any possibility of evolution, which made it such an interesting finding at the time. It turns out the miners who discovered the skull admitted it was all a hoax. Some historians still feel it was real and refuse to admit they were wrong. Number 9. The Fiji Mermaid. Who wouldn't go pay to see a real mermaid? In the mid-19th century, P.T. and Barnum displayed this mummy at their sideshows and claimed it was caught near the Fiji Islands in the South Pacific. The tons of publicity for this mermaid made many people curious of what it could have possibly been. No one really seemed to notice for quite some time that these were complete lies. The mermaid was fake, and P.T. and Barnum knew it the whole time. The Fiji mermaid was made from the torso of a monkey and the tail of a fish. He really didn't care that it wasn't real, but only that people would pay to see it, and make money, of course. Some believe the mermaid was destroyed when P.T. and Barnum's museum was set on fire in retaliation of his hoaxes. Some people in Harvard claim to have the real fake thing, or could that be a hoax? Number 8. St. Ference Gold Tiara. This one proves that even fancy museums like the Louvre in Paris can be the victims of cruel hoaxes. In 1896, the historians in Paris purchased a gold tiara that they believed belonged to a Scythian king named St. Ference. The people who found it claimed it was from a Greek colony near the Black Sea, and said it was found near Odessa in present-day Ukraine. It was supposed to have dated back to the 3rd century BC. After it was exhibited, many experts challenged its authenticity, and found quite a few stylistic problems with the design. The remarkable preservation of this tiara should have raised some red flags. A goldsmith from Ukraine later admitted to making the crown, and claimed he was making it for a friend to give as a gift. The Louvre still holds the fake crown, but it's kept in storage and no longer on display. Kind of embarrassing. Number 7. Giant hoaxes. Modern-day hoaxes are a little bit easier nowadays, especially with advancements in Photoshop. So watch out for claims of giants like this one in Saudi Arabia. It is possible to find skeletons of larger humans who may have had some type of deformity. They said that the Quran had spoken of very tall people who inhabited this region, and this civilization turned against God and was destroyed as a result. This was quickly debunked even by National Geographic. The photo was made with an aerial photo of a mastodon excavation in New York and was later superimposed with a human skeleton. Number 6. Noah's Ark in Turkey. Could the legendary Ark of Noah possibly have been uncovered on the top of Mount Ararat in Turkey? No. This one is also a hoax. A group of Christian explorers claimed to have found the remains of Noah's Ark here. Archaeologists didn't take this claim very seriously. Chinese filmmakers, however, probably looking for a good story, believe the Ark was 99.9% authentic. Many Christians believe that this mountain in Turkey is the final resting place for Noah's Ark. The wood and rocks that were found at the site of the discovery formed a boat-shaped formation. This turned out to simply be a coincidence, and the boat-shaped site was formed from earthquakes. Archaeologists did further research on this area and found no evidence of man-carved wood or metalwork. Number 5. Piltdown Man. In 1912, a man named Charles Dawson claimed to have discovered the missing link when he uncovered a skeleton in Piltdown, Eastern Sussex, United Kingdom. He then made further discoveries of some primitive tools, a jawbone, and some skull fragments. Dyson hypothesized that the remains came from 500,000 years ago and were primitive human ancestors with an enlarged head. What he forgot to leave out was that it was a complete hoax. Since he used the human skull and the jawbones of an ape, It seemed rather believable that this could have been some type of human-ape hybrid. The hoax wasn't even uncovered until 45 years later, and it took a few scientists to confirm that it was false. Number 4. Mermaid Skeleton. People really want to believe mermaids really exist, like we saw in the case of the Fiji Mermaid. People would be so fascinated to find out a mythical creature could be real after all these years of tales and myths. So in case anyone actually believed this one, sorry to burst your bubble, but it's false, according to Snopes. This one here was claimed to have been discovered on a beach in Bulgaria. It's actually the product of double manipulation. So not only was the skeleton not real, obviously, but the guy in the photo was never even there. This first appeared on the Facebook of a journalist, and it quickly went viral. The guy in the photo is named Professor Dimitrov, and they claimed he was the one who found it. Number 3. Ancient cell phone. Could aliens have possibly once visited us with advanced technology like cell phones? Possibly, but this finding here is fake. On September 23, 2015, a conspiracy theory site called Mysterious Universe published that this was an ancient clay tablet written with cuneiform. They also said it was some type of ancient cell phone, and it was discovered in Austria. If this finding wasn't a complete hoax, it could be a world-changing find. Turns out this was actually created by a German sculptor who specializes in making ancient art only a few years ago. He shared his artwork with the Mysterious Universe, but never said anything about aliens. Number 2. Acambaro figures. Over 32,000 figurines were discovered in Acambaro, Mexico in 1944 that seemed to resemble dinosaurs with humans, and might have seemed like credible evidence that dinosaurs and humans coexisted at some point in time. These were depicted as all types of civilizations: Egyptians, Sumerians, and bearded Caucasians, even on the backs of dinosaurs. A German immigrant stumbled upon these while riding his horse and began paying Mexican farmers to dig them up. The sheer number of them, being 32,000, is evidence of a hoax, and the Mexican farmers were making some good cash. Many supporters of the dinosaurs living with humans theory supported their authenticity. Further investigations proved that the clay was almost brand new. All of them were in perfect condition, and none of them had evidence of being underground for a long period of time. And number 1. Persian Mummy hoax. This hoax was so elaborate that it even had Pakistan and Iran disputing which country it should belong to. In October 2000, a mummy of an alleged Persian princess was uncovered. The people who found it claimed that it could have been the daughter of Xerxes. That's the guy you might have seen in the 300 movie. When a video of the mummy was made in order to be sold, Pakistani authorities were alerted, and then even Afghanistan wanted a chance to say who the mummy belonged to. Archaeologists wanted to take a closer look, and there were just too many things wrong with this. First, the cuneiform inscriptions had errors. The coffin carbon dated to be only 250 years old, and the corpse died much more recently than 600 BC like they claimed. The woman was killed with a blunt object, and they believe she was killed only 4 years before the tomb was uncovered. Instead of a possibly priceless artifact from the past, authorities were now dealing with a murder.